and in today's video we'll be looking at Asian liquidity sweep trading strategy. I'm going to share with you the recent trade I took using this particular strategy. Now, what are the things you need to have before you can trade this? The number one thing you need to know is you must have a session indicator, an indicator that shows you the session, London session, New York session, and then the Asian session. But what I'm only interested in here is the Asian session. Okay, now you know in forex markets we have different sessions, the London, the New York, and the Asian. Now the Asian market is very vital when it comes to this strategy, because remember, market moves and print liquidity along the way, and one of the liquidity the market print is the session liquidity, in this case the Asian high and Asian lows. So now to take this trade, what you need to do is to identify the Asian high and low, which is this box here for example. Okay, the moment you identify the Asian high and low, if you are looking for a bullish setup, and make sure you trade these only in the right direction. If the market is overall bearish, then you look for this strategy for the bearish setup. If you look for it in the bullish setup where the market is bearish, you might get bonds. Okay, likewise for a bullish setup, you must do this in line with what overall market direction. If you don't understand market structure, market direction, I will link a video in this description, or you check up in the card above. So before I continue, make sure you like this video, subscribe, share this video, give me comment, let me know what you are struggling with. Whatever you're struggling with, put in the comment. Maybe that might be the next video I will do. So now let's go back to this strategy. The session indicator that you need, in this case you are going to need, go to the indicators tab. Okay, look, type FXN Asian session range and week and day separator by Billy_FX, this one. Okay, select this. Okay, when you select that, it will appear on your chart. When I get to the chart example, I will show you those indicators. Now this is the step you need to do. Number one, now the first thing you need to do is you need to identify supply and demand zones above and below the Asian range. Okay, the indicator will show you Asian range when the Asian session opens and when it closes, and then draw a box between the high and the low of the session. Okay, that box represents the Asian range. So what you need to do for this strategy to work is you identify a supply and demand zone above or below. If you are looking for a short, look for supply zone above. Okay, and if you are looking for a short, for a long, look for demand zone below this Asian box. Okay, now the next step is you wait for price to sweep liquidity. Now number two is you wait for price to you wait for liquidity sweep of Asia high or low. Now in this case, if you are looking to short, you wait for price to sweep the high. Okay, wait for price to sweep the high. If you are going for long, wait for price to sweep the low. Take note of this strategy, wait for price to sweep the low. Now the third one, now number three step is you wait for price to tap into the demand or supply zone. In this case, for a short, you wait for price to come into the supply zone. For a long, you wait for price to come into the demand zone. Okay, then the final step here that I'm sharing with you. Now the final step here is to take entry. You can take your entry based on risky entry, or you wait for confirmation to take this trade to the downside. Now what is your target? When you are targeting this, when you take this trade, the Asian low should be your target, because market is intended to move lower. So the institutional order flow will shift the institutional order flow will shift bearish and thereby targeting the lows. So your first target might be the Asian low. For a bullish move, your target will be the Asian high. Simple trading strategy. Okay, now let's look at a recent example of trade I took here on pounds USD. Okay, now before I continue here, I need to show you that this strategy is not an holy grail. It's not an holy grail at all. Okay, so you don't expect it to work every time. Okay, because the thing is, there are other confluence that you need to put in a strategy to make it profitable. So I'm just simply sharing this with you because this alone also can help you become profitable, but don't expect it to work every time just because you may not be at the right side of the market. It happens sometimes. Now, if I go to look at this 4-hour chart here, I know why I put this up here. This is a 4-hour chart, and this is the supply zone. All of these are liquidity. Okay, all of these are liquidity, and we have been trading this for the past few days now. Okay, now we go to the way I did my setting. The Asian session will only show when I move to the 1 hour. So you can see here in the 1 hour, all of these blue boxes are Asian high and low, Asian session. Okay, now take note of this here. You can see this high, this is an Asian high, but notwithstanding, this particular day has gone. Price didn't fill up into this point. So in the future, I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised if price comes back up. Now, a lot of people will see this as a Quasimodo, a QM, but I won't be surprised if price struggle to break this low and then move up to clear this high and tap into the supply zone. But that's not what I'm explaining right now. So now, right now, this is another day. This is the supply zone above here. Okay, this is supply zone above. This Asian market, Asian session has started here. So what I need to do is I need to wait for price to tap into the supply zone. Okay, this is the Asian market. Sweep this Asian high. Okay, tap into this, and this is your trade. Okay, this is your trade. When you enter this market, you target this low. Now, as I said, market may struggle to take this low. Okay, market may struggle to take this low because this is also an Asian high, which market might decide to manipulate out into this point of origin here to move the price lower. But that doesn't stop you from taking this trade. If you go to the 15 minutes here, 15 minutes here, we have a false change of character. Even though it tapped in here, price came, went up, went down. Okay, got this of profit, but decided to go manipulate this the more. So now you can see here, price went in here, and you could have taken your trade from the 5 minutes. There are ways I take this trade from the 5 minutes. Your target becomes this low. Okay, but as it stands, this is a good sign. Price may trade up in here. You can start looking for another short opportunity, but bear in mind the longer picture. This supply 4-hour supply zone has not been tapped, and the eye, the protected eye, is an Asian eye, which is questionable. Okay, it's questionable. If this was not an Asian eye, I'll be more confident to hold this trade. Okay, to hold this trade to the downside, but because this is an Asian eye, I am not that confident. So we can still expect this strategy to play out in the coming weeks or days. Price might trade up in here. I might be wrong, okay, but I work with probability. Price might trade up in here, and this is where I'll be loading more of my chips, my betting to take this price to clear the lows. So that is that on this strategy. Very basic, very straightforward. You look for the high and the lows. Okay, let's see if we can look for bearish and bullish example. This is the Asian low here. This is the demand zone. This is the Asian low. Price came, sweep the Asian low here into this, and then there we go. In this case, we target the highs. Now, why this? Because this particular low here, this particular low is not an Asian high. It's not an Asian low. So I am more confident to hold this trade to move higher, and you can see price went up ridiculously, clearing that Asian high, and then the following day we have this is the low, but in this case price did not, the market didn't wait to clear the Asian low. So as you can see, it's not an holy grail here. In this particular example, I wish price would trade below. This was a miss, but there are other ways you can enter the market. Okay, this is just one of the tools that you must put in your arsenal. The other things I look at before I take a trade, even though this is an Asian low. Market move up, clear the Asian high. This is the following day here. Now you can see this here. In this case, price came. If you are trying to buy here, you have to ask yourself a question: where is price trading? This is a premium. So looking for a buy is a low probability trade here, but it's good for scalping. If you know how to scalp properly, you can have scalped to this point here and continue this direction, especially when you see a change of order flow here. So if you expect that these lows might be challenged. So do we see any tap back in here? No, price did not. So then we have this current situation. You can see price is even going higher as I'm recording this. So I won't be surprised if market goes above this and clears these highs into this. This is the perfect place for me to start looking for a short to continue this downward trend. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, share, give me your comment. Let me know which topic you are struggling with, and I'll be glad to make a video on that. If you want to understand more on Asian range liquidity, I did a video on Asian range trading. I'll see you in this video.